All right, let's talk about a piece of software that's become a legend, but for all the wrong reasons. I'm talking, of course, about Microsoft Windows Vista. In this explainer, we're going to unravel the whole wild story.
So here's the big question. Was it really the most hated software ever? I mean, for years, that's been the narrative, right? A total disaster. But what if there's more to it? To really get it, we've got to go back. Back to a time when its launch was, believe it or not, one of the most hyped up events in tech.
Okay, so let's set the stage. The year is 2001. The whole world is running on Windows XP. And let's be real, XP was a hit. It was popular, it was stable. But Microsoft, they're always looking ahead, right? They started cooking up its successor, a project with this epic codename Longhorn. And the promise? It wasn't just an update. It was going to be a revolution. But here's the thing about revolutions. They can take a while, and this one took a long time. We're talking more than 5 years between XP and Vista. In the tech world, that is an absolute eternity. The project was so troubled by delays that they literally had to hit the reset button on development back in 2005. You can just imagine the pressure building up and the expectations just going through the roof. So, what was all the hype about? I mean, what were they actually promising? Well, get a load of this. They weren't just talking about a fresh coat of paint. They were promising the future. We're talking a stunning, transparent Aeroglass look, a brand new file system, WinFS, that was supposed to totally change how you find anything on your computer. Security so tough they were calling it Fort Knox level. And search that was instant, powerful, built right into the DNA of the operating system. The hype was, well, it was off the charts. And then, the moment of truth arrived. It launched, and oh boy, the reality check was brutal. That revolutionary UI, turns out it was way too demanding for the average PC at the time. That seamless upgrade, more like a nightmare of incompatibility. Your printer? Didn't work. Your favorite software? Nope. The dream had just slammed headfirst into a brick wall.
So let's really dig in. What exactly went so wrong? What did it feel like for an everyday person firing up a brand new Vista computer back in 2007? Well, for a whole lot of them, the one-word summary was frustration.
And you know, a huge chunk of the problem started before you even booted the thing up. It was the marketing. You had these stickers on new PCs, Vista capable and Vista ready. Sounds similar? Wrong. Capable basically meant it would, well, turn on. But you wouldn't get any of the cool stuff like the Aeroglass look. For that, you needed a Vista-ready PC. So imagine buying a new computer and it feels sluggish and stripped down from day one. People were furious. And then there was User Account Control, UAC. Now, on paper, this was a brilliant idea. Seriously, the goal was to make Windows way more secure. So before any program could make a big change, the OS would just pop up and ask your permission. Simple enough. Sounds like a great way to stop viruses, right? A really noble goal. Well, in practice, it was an absolute nightmare. The pop-ups were constant for everything. This user comment from back then just nails it. It felt like the OS was constantly asking for permission to breathe. Are you sure? Are you sure you're sure? It was maddening. It wasn't a security guard. It was a nag. And you know what millions of people did? They just figured out how to turn it off completely, which totally defeated the whole point. So you've got sluggish performance, confusing marketing, and this UAC nightmare. The public and the critics, their reaction was fast, and it was not kind. Vista became a punchline, a symbol of tech frustration. Hey, don't just take my word for it. The numbers tell the whole story. A full year after Vista launched, look at this. A whopping 75% of people were still using good old Windows XP. Vista? It only managed to grab 15% of the market. People weren't just ignoring it. They were actively avoiding it. Businesses were even buying new computers and paying to have them downgraded back to XP. That's how bad it was. Things got so desperate that Microsoft actually launched this wild ad campaign called the Mojave Experiment. They brought in people who swore they hated Vista. Then they showed them a brand new operating system called Mojave. And guess what? The people loved it. They said it was fast, it was beautiful. The big reveal at the end?
They were using Windows Vista the whole time. It just went to show that Vista's reputation had become so toxic, people hated it without even using it.
Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, case closed, spectacular failure, end of story. But this is where the story gets really interesting, because under all that mess, all those problems, Vista was secretly laying the groundwork for everything that came next.
You can draw a straight line from all the pain of Vista to the massive success of Windows 7. It's so clear. See, the ideas in Vista weren't the problem, it was the execution that failed. So for Windows 7, they didn't start over, they just fixed Vista. That annoying UAC, they calmed it down, made the prompt smarter. The sluggish performance, they optimized the heck out of it. The terrible driver support, they fixed it, making it stable and reliable. You could say Windows 7 was really just Vista done right.
So when you boil it all down, Vista's real contribution happened in 3 key steps. First, it did introduce a fundamentally new, more secure architecture for Windows. That part was huge. Second, the massive public backlash. That was basically the world's biggest, most honest focus group, telling Microsoft exactly what needed to be fixed. And third, Microsoft listened. They took all that feedback, refined that core, and created Windows 7, which went on to become one of the most popular operating systems ever. And that brings us right back to the big question, doesn't it? Was Vista a necessary failure? Think about it. Could we have gotten the rock-solid, beloved Windows 7, or even the Windows we use today, without first going through the messy, painful, and very public experiment that was Vista? It's a complicated legacy for sure, but it kind of proves that sometimes your biggest failures can actually be the stepping stones to your greatest successes. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.